Blog Talk Radio.
Lift off on another Saturday here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tarot Today Radio. We are the show that brings you the world of tarot, interesting guests and topics, and, of course, free tarot mini readings for our live call-in audience. I am your host, Dax Carlisle, from the Tarot Guild, the international organization for tarot enthusiasts, students, and professionals since 2004. I'm a professional tarot advisor and numerologist. And let me introduce you to the other host of Tarot Today Radio, my fabulous co-host, Mary Brown. Mary is also a tarot advisor, certified tarot master, and crystal Reiki master. She's a producer for the Psychic Talk Radio Network and vice president of the Tarot Guild. Hello, Mary. Happy Saturday.
Happy Psychic Saturday, everybody. What a nice day. It's a nice day today.
Yeah, it's actually hot here. I'm in the office in the air conditioning.
Yeah, I mean it's brutal outside. It's nice indoors. Just trying to put a positive spin on something, right?
Here we are. Hey, the phone lines are already lighting up like a Christmas tree. This is exciting stuff. Hey, everybody out there calling in. Let's give out the phone number, Mary.
Yes, if people would like to call in, and always remember to press 1 on your dial pad, but the number to call is 714-816-4628. That number again is 714-816-4628. And be sure to press number 1 on your dial pad so Dax can see that you have your hand raised and you want to be on the air. Otherwise, he's just going to think you just want to listen. Nothing wrong with that, but just say and press 1 if you want to be on the air with us.
Absolutely, and you can join us in the chat room, chat.psychictalk.net. And you scroll down below the player, and you can ask us questions from the chat room, right, Mary?
Absolutely. And what do we have going on in the chat room? I see you. I see me. I see Sharona.
Oh, Sharona's
Hello.
there. Yay.
Yay.
Hey, Sharona. Yes, Sharona's next show is not till... what is that? That's the 12th of September. She was supposed to be on last Sunday, but, they had the hurricane in New York City.
Hurricane. Gosh, is that just ridiculous? I mean, hurricane in New York City, who ever heard of that even? I mean, I guess it's happened, but hurricane in Rhode Island as well. And then on the anniversary of Katrina, New Orleans, look out for the hurricane tomorrow. Get out. Just go. Just get somewhere else, please. Because I was talking about New Orleans. I lived in New Orleans as a little kid. It was my mom's favorite city in the world. I was there last time 6 months before Katrina hit. And the best thing to me about Louisiana are the people and the food. And you know what? You can build and rebuild and deal with everything else later, but just get those precious people who have those precious recipes out of there. We love you. We love you, Louisiana. Please be safe.
Yeah. Well, that's why I live on this side of the country. I'm in Tucson, and, we're safe from hurricanes.
Yeah, you're just going to get boiled, in the heat, but you're safe from hurricanes.
But everything on the East Coast, in the Gulf Coast seems dangerous right now. It's like I'm thinking, I'm glad I am where I am. Now, of course, we have our own problems, like, for instance, the endless drought, which means that our water supply is rapidly disappearing. I was talking to my friend up in Seattle, and he was like, okay, you got to move back up to Seattle. We have our own water supply. We don't have hurricanes. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. I might do that. I might go to Seattle.
Yeah, and we deal with the drought here in Amarillo too on the high plains. It's just, I think the worst thing that ever happened here, other than the Arctic freeze last year, but so I feel like we're in a kind of okay area. It's just dry and hot, and then super cold. But anyways, it kind of reminds me, just, thinking you and I, like where we live and we don't have to deal with hurricanes and stuff. I drew a card of the day today from Tori Hartman's Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. And I posted it on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. If you haven't joined the group yet, people, join the group. Go to psychictalk.net/Facebook, and you can like our page and join our group and join the conversation. And the card of the day I posted today is about gratitude. Finding those little things to be grateful for, thinking about, like, who is in your life that you're grateful for? What do you appreciate the most? Whether it's the weather or, the area that you live, or whether it's people in your life, take a few moments to kind of meditate on that, 5 minutes or so to just let that gratitude fill your heart, because we've got to find those good things, and we all, believe it or not, no matter how lousy we feel, we can all find something to be grateful for.
That's right.
Did
Sounds
you do
awesome.
the numerology for today, Dax? I'm kind of wondering, what do the numbers say?
Oh, well, it's that 5 and 1 energy, so new beginnings with the 1. And, that's self and leadership. And the 5 energy, of course, is change. And it's also that adventurous spirit. So, it's Saturday. This is a great day to just have an adventure, go out in nature or take in a good movie, ride the roller coasters, things like that. It can spiral down into chaos quickly, though. So you want to set the intention to use the high energy today. The high energy, the adventurous spirit, in a positive way. And don't sign any contracts. This is not a day to make any big decisions. Just, enjoy yourself. And I've been doing, instead of card of the day, I've been doing spreads. And a lot of them, it's interesting doing it this way, Mary, because I'm seeing patterns, and different things showing up, and there'll be themes that run for a few days in a row. Today I got the Knight of Cups in the center here in a 3-card spread, and the Knight of Cups also appeared in the same spot in Thursday's reading, and it's about messages coming in, and also your message that you're taking out, to the world, basically. I'm not going to go into detail because we've got a gazillion people on the phone lines here. I can't believe how many people are calling in. And then also, we've got our psychic spin today. So what I'm going to do is tell everybody, go read my article. In fact, read my article for the last 2 or 3 days, because it has a running thread message for everybody out there. There's also a lot of that 9 energy of letting go. Got the Moon card, which is a 9 card. Got the 9 of Wands the other day, which is a 9 card. And the energy from the numerology yesterday was 9 as well. So a lot of letting go. What can you let go of that no longer serves you? And you can go over to the Tarot Guild website. It's the Tarot Guild. Click on articles, thetarotguild.com. So that's my numerology and stuff for the day here.
Awesome.
Yes. And I want to let everybody know, we're going to do some mini readings live on air. But remember, you can book a private session with Mary or I. Go over to Mary's page. You can learn more about her. You can get in touch with her. And you can also book readings at psychictalk.net/Mary. And I'll be located at psychictalk.net/Dax. Yeah. You can also find me, of course, on the Tarot Guild website as well, dax.thetarotguild.com. And you can book sessions and all that kind of thing. If you're into tarot, come over and join our Facebook group. Mary was mentioning the Psychic Talk Radio one. We also have one for the Tarot Guild, and it's up to 6,655 members now. 6,655.
Wow.
Wow. Yes, so come over and join the conversations on the group here. We'd love to have you there as well. You can just search for the Tarot Guild, or the easy way is just to type in thetarotguild.com/Facebook. That'll take you right over to there. And let's see, any other announcements? I think that's it. So we were talking about Psychic Spin, and if you're new to the show, the Psychic Spin, well, Mary, tell people what the Psychic Spin's about.
Well, with the Psychic Spin episode, we like to take a look at the big questions out there, and also, what's going on, what's trending online, what's going on in the news cycle. What are the big questions that we have that you can't get those answers to necessarily from the talking heads on TV? We actually pull tarot cards on it and let tarot tell us what we need to know about those questions. So those are very exciting. It can be anything from, does the universe have consciousness? Is it aware of us as much as we're aware of it? Are robots going to take over the world? Should we fear or embrace AI? You name it. We are happy to pull the cards on it.
Is there an afterlife?
Yes, is there? Is there an afterlife? Don't we all want to know? And what is that like? I want to know that, actually. Have we asked that question? What's the afterlife?
I think we did maybe a couple years ago. We got to do it again.
Yeah, we've been doing this for so long. And one thing that I saw recently that I want to pull some cards on is a couple days ago, Space Force, our new military unit.
Space Force.
I guess it's not a unit. Yeah, it's a new, branch of our military, Space Force. It put out there what looked to me like a very futuristic, recruitment commercial, and I'm just kind of wondering, like, wow, am I getting, obviously I'm getting old. We're all getting old every day, right? But, it just seemed like way beyond. I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is like joining Star Trek or something. So I want to know. About that.
It's getting close.
I love that. Yeah, I love that theme music. But I just want to know, like, is it going to come to that? Is it really going to be more about Space Force than it is like, having troops, boots on the ground, basically? Or is it going to be boots in the air? What are we to make of this? And is the future already here?
That's what's exciting to me. It's kind of like, I'm looking at it two different ways, Mary. First of all, we missed it by several decades. I'm kind of depressed because I was in the Air Force. I would have killed to be in Space Force. It did not exist in the 80s when I was in the military.
Me either. Are you kidding? It's like you could be all you could be. That's why I joined the Army. But if I could be in space,
be all you could be.
If I could be in space instead, I think I would have gone for it.
You could be all you could be in space, but the thing is, the other side of the coin is that I grew up on Star Trek and Star Wars, and I mean that's like been my entire theme of my life. Contributed to going into the Air Force. I was loved airplanes and all that kind of thing. One thing was that if we rewind back to that era, the 70s, late 70s, 80s, and we're watching all these shows, and space epics and space movies and television became really big, and but it was way out in the future. That we weren't even going to ever in our lifetime have an inkling of that. We're talking 100, 200, 300, 400 years from now, right? But it's kind of cool to be living now, at least, at the beginning of, even though you and I are way too old to be in Space Force.
I know. So sad about that.
We get to be here at the beginnings. I think this is the beginning of the future, Mary.
Wow. It kind of feels like it. It kind of does. Maybe we should ask. What should we ask the tarot about this?
I know. I'm trying to think of that. I think what's interesting is, I don't think this is going to supplant what happens here on the planet. It's just it's so much. If you watch the recruiting video, which is really cool, people, you got to find this video, and we got to post this. The Psychic Talk group or something. You have the link there. You can pop it in. In the actual thing, they're talking about, why the Space Force and all the stuff that we don't know happens on a daily basis in space. In fact, when I was in the Air Force, I was guarding I got to be careful here. I can't actually tell people where the real NORAD center is, but because it's not where people think it is. And I guarded it. I was, like the gate guard at the NORAD, but we call it the blockhouse, because there's no windows, folks. You can't see in. But I got to tour the place. My one and only time I could ever get into that building, and it was futuristic, and this was the 80s, there's all these satellites and, electronic communication going on, and visual as well as, digital, information from the satellites and everything up on boards and all this kind of thing. So it even existed back then, and we already had a ton of space trash. Now we've got a lot of space trash, 30,000 pieces of garbage floating around the planet, and our satellites, everything that happens is because of our satellites. Have you ever thought about that? We would not really be doing this show if it wasn't for satellites. We think of all the ground lines and ground communication, but folks, everything's bounced off the satellites, all the internet, communications and things like that. I mean, I'm on my system is going through the internet, but it gets bounced around the planet that way. They use the satellites for the telecommunications, the internet, GPS. All of that would just go away. There's whole generations of people, Mary, growing up now that will never know a world without GPS and the internet and websites and God, that'll be all gone soon. It'll be all virtual reality. But so much happens in space, and that's what one thing I'm curious about. Like I said, that's one question. Will it supplant the need for the Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force? No, I don't. Not for any foreseeable future. However, it could go that direction. I mean, if you can be anywhere via a satellite, from above. But see, that brings in the next question, Mary. Do you remember Moonraker?
Yes, totally.
James Bond goes to outer space, and there's two forces. They're in space. They're firing lasers at each other. It's like Space Marines. And I think when people think of the Space Force, that's what they think of. But I remember that movie coming out and watching that movie. I think it was before I was in the Air Force, or maybe during when I was in the Air Force. I'm not sure. But I loved it, but then I also giggled because it was an impossibility. There are treaties that ban weapons in space. You can't do that. You can't use a space-based weapons platform is illegal. You can't use weapons from space down to Earth. That's why, number one, I don't think that Space Force will ever supplant, the ground forces and air forces, in the sea forces, on the planet itself. Because we're not allowed to do that. Now, will that change? That's an interesting question. Will they weaponize space? And it is kind of weaponized indirectly because, remember, the people fly. Remember the drone strike we just had?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that.
There's nobody in the cockpit, people. It's a drone. It means there's nobody in that aircraft, okay? So the person flying the aircraft is in a little trailer on one of our installations where they're bouncing a signal off a satellite down to the drone, and they're controlling the drone. Like flying an airplane in a video game is what it is. It's a video game. Let's face it. That's what it is. So indirectly, we're already using things in space, a la our satellites, to control weapon systems that do fire weapons, on the ground. So, that's what I'm kind of interested in. What do you want to ask about that?
Well, that really kind of resonated with me. Just that question of, like, are we ever going to see, like, space weaponized beyond just the data, beyond just the data that we get from the satellites that we can use to target? Then are we going to actually see things in space happen, like some kind of, because everybody's getting into space now. We got the Japanese, we got the Chinese, we've got all these people up in space that for decades weren't able to do it, and now we see more and more countries, and also the private sector getting up there. And it seems to me that wherever people go, there can be conflict. But yeah, I'd like to ask that, and then also the Star Trek. It's like episode after episode, and it really didn't matter which series you watched. You got this idea over and over again that in that time of the series, a long time ago, the people of Earth had, gotten past their differences to the point where, we learned, we're not just going to keep having war after war after war. But, you see them go after each other, like the Kardashians or, these battles, on Star Trek, but they're happening in space. So is that going to shift? Would there be peace on Earth, and does that peace on Earth actually, is that a factor in there being war in space now?
Right. And the thing is, we got to that point where the planet all comes together, and there's a planetary government in Star Trek. But remember, that happens after World War III. World War III happens as part of the past. Yeah, and we're there's a ton of devastation, and we barely survive it. And then Ephraim Zakram, I can't say his name right. Zakram Ephraim. Wait, I'm trying to remember the guy that creates. God, I'm supposed to know this stuff. Warp Drive, Zefram Cochrane. And he is, and he because there's that movie, The Next Generation, where they go back into time and actually make sure that because he's a drunk, and they just had World War III, and kind of push him to actually launch the first ship that has warp drive on it, and that's how we get noticed, because once he goes to warp, the Vulcans are passing by and they notice, because they see a warp signature.
Right.
So that's how they actually come to Earth. But remember, this is all after World War III, So will we get to the peaceful thing? I'm pulling cards on that. I'm getting 4 out of 5. Yes, we will get to that point. However, what's going on in the cards here? Oh my God, it's going to take time. I mean, there's the 5 of Swords. There's still going to be all of the, for the foreseeable future, the conflicts. It's just going to go on. The Devil card there. It's because of our human nature. The 4 of Swords. It's going to take. It's like there's going to continue to be conflict, and then there's going to be a point of where we're recovering from all that in the form of the 4 of Swords that'll actually lead to us letting go of the ongoing conflicts, at least here on the planet itself. And as far as in space, the other question, I pulled cards on that too. In space, will things get weaponized? I think even in that recruiting video they mentioned, the Chinese are going to put a base on the far side of the moon.
Yeah.
And if they have missiles up there and they launch missiles, we won't see it coming, folks. They'll launch it so that as the planet rotates and North America comes to face the moon, that's when the missiles will hit, boom, like that. We won't even see it coming, and so it seems to me like just logically we're going to have to weaponize space. And when I draw cards on that, I get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. Well, the Ace of Coins, I mean, that's technically a no card because it's a 1, but sometimes aces, because of the what an ace card is, I take that as a yes. So I'm basically getting all yeses here. Yeah, it's going to end up that way. Not for a while, because the central focus card is the 8 of Swords, and so we're restricted. We won't be able to do it for a while. We're restricted in it happening. But at some point, things are going to change. Got the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Coins, the Magician card coming in, really powerful cards, and cards of things happening and changing. I just feel like because it'll probably be because of something that somebody else does, North Koreans, Chinese, whatever. I don't think it's the Russians, but something's going to happen that we're going to shift policies. And so will it happen? Yeah. But right now, not so much. That 8 of Swords is showing that we're still, trapped in, restricted because of the treaties that ban weapons in space. What are you getting?
Well, yeah, looking at that same question, it's really kind of interesting. I get two knights, Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, and really it could be representing two different nations maybe, that this might be about. And the reason I say that is above everything else is the Two of Swords. So I feel like we're going to have that capability. I have that, but that, and people are going to be, they're at least two nations here are going to be making sure they have the capability to do that. But with the Two of Swords and the Hanged Man, I don't think it's going to turn into we could have a cold space war, meaning swords, there's an impasse, or there's that sort of stalemate where, they could, but nobody really, does it, at least not for a long time. Nobody really fires on, the perceived enemy. But, it could be kind of like our nuclear buildup is on Earth, where it's like, okay, a whole bunch of us have a whole bunch of weapons now, and let's not really use that. Let's not really do that. At least, let's hope everybody kind of keeps that, framework, right?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
Or else we're all going to be in space.
One of the cards I got in the question about that, I got the Four of Pentacles. And the thing about the Four of Pentacles, one of the aspects is protecting your assets. And so even though we're restricted by the Eight of Swords, we're restricted by the treaty. I keep wanting to say that, what keeps popping in my mind is the test ban treaty. Keeps popping in my head. It's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ban on weapons in space. That's in place, but behind the scenes, secretly, come on, they're going to prepare for this. That's that Four of Pentacles. They're going to have the capability, like you said. They're going to prepare for it. We may never use it. It might become one of these, like we had the space race, we had the Cold War. It could be a Cold War in space. Space is cold, so there you go. It's always a Cold War in space. Hello.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's another good point. What's so wild is, and I drew some cards on this Peace on Earth. Is that going to happen, kind of thing? And I think you're absolutely right. The Two of Cups comes up, that card of harmony. I also got the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen and King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. And so I do think it will, but not after, change. That Wheel of Fortune comes up first. But the craziest thing is this deck that I'm using today, the Prophetic Tarot of the Bible by Giordano Berti, that Wheel of Fortune is actually an astronaut on the card.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's I didn't even know that. It's a deck I haven't really, I'm not familiar with the cards so much. I haven't looked at, I flipped through it. I love the deck, but I haven't had that card come up yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll have to post that on the Psychic Talk Facebook group as well. And I did just post that Space Force commercial so people can see what we're talking about and just see how futuristic it is. But yeah, I do think, especially that Two of Cups being the main card, we're going to have that someday. We're going to have a sense of unity someday. Things are going to have to change. We're going to have to go through a big cycle of change first, though.
I've got another one for you, though, that's kind of along the lines of you getting that particular card. When I laid down the cards, the first thing I saw was the Wheel of Fortune, and my eyes were drawn there, and right away I saw the wheel as the planet Earth, and figures in the clouds, and everything around it. That's the satellites, and that's us in space. And interestingly, enough. On the question, and this is the part of the cards that I drew. This particular spread was for the question about, weaponizing space. And what's the, right at the top there, you got the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is holding what? A sword. Very, very interesting. It's all right there in the card. You can't make this stuff up. That's what I love about tarot. It's just like, you ask these questions and it just winks back at you. Like, You didn't think you'd ever see that in a tarot card, but there it all is. The entire thing we're discussing, you could get rid of all the other cards. The entire thing we're discussing right now about, oh, by the way, Sharona just did a great show few weeks ago on the Wheel of Fortune. So check our archive at psychictalk.net. Yeah. But, just this single card here has the entire thing that we're talking about. It has the Earth. It has the satellites. It has militaristic figures in space. One figure literally with a sword. I mean, it's just all right there.
That's amazing. That's just.
And Arthur Waite was not thinking of this. Arthur Waite was not thinking of this when he came up with that. When he came up with that design in 1909. 100 years ago. Actually, how long is it now? It's like 111 years ago or something like that. It's just 112 years ago. I try to do math in my head while doing the radio. Not a good idea. But yeah, it's just amazing. The tarot never ceases to amaze. And oracle cards too. I mean, it doesn't really matter the what's the word for it? The medium you're talking about. It's because you'll see amazing things that you don't expect in an oracle card as well. Kind of thing. Anyway, there you go. That's the psychic spin. Unless we got more things to ask her. You want to go to phone line soon?
Why don't we do that? I say, let's do it.
Well, before we take our first call, we'll give people a second to call in here at 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad. And if you can't get through, remember you can ask a question in the chat room, chat.psychictalk.net. .psychictalk.net. That'll take you right there. You can. Oh, and if you're on the Psychic Talk, let me just finish up. If you're on the Psychic Talk, I forgot to say, if you're on the Psychic Talk website anyway, psychictalk.net, you can just click live at the top of any page or in the nav bar. If you're on a phone, you have to hit the 3 lines, and just hit live, and that'll always take you to the live show. I just wanted to let everybody know, and you can ask in the chat room if you have a question. But you want to do the upcoming shows, Mary?
Yes, that's what I was just going to mention. But also, I wanted to say that I just posted the Space Force commercial, but I just posted that Wheel of Fortune card from the prophetic tarot of the Bible. You got to look at that. I just posted that in our Psychic Talk Facebook group as well. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
And isn't that amazing? Well, isn't that amazing that, it was that card too? I was talking about the Waite Smith version of the card. Saw that, and the card you were talking about was also the wheel. That is just bonkers, folks. I got to go over there and look at it now.
Yeah, go look at that. And I'm going to share what's coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network this week. We've got some good shows coming up. Our next show is going to be on Monday, August 30th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the Wisdom of the Soul show with your host, Janice Fuchs. And the next show after that is on Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Spiritual Guidance Radio with angelic channel and healer Catherine Hahn, and she will be giving free on-air guidance, so you can call in and get some guidance from Catherine. I will be back next Saturday, September 4th, Oh, my gosh, September already. There's a rock for that. And I'm going to be talking about crystal meditation, meditating with crystals. And my featured crystal for the month of September is a apophyllite. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stone. Great stone to meditate with, too. And I will be taking your calls for free crystal readings. And that's what's coming up this week on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. You can find that whole list of upcoming shows by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. Back to you, Dax.
Wow. And I just posted from the Radiant version of the Waite-Smith deck, the Wheel of Fortune in the comments of the post you just did with the wheel from the Prophetic Tarot of the Bible. Prophetic Tarot of the Bible. It's a weird title.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because this is, God, that image on there, the wheel from the Prophetic Tarot, it's like so exact, what we're talking
right?
about. And then another
crazy.
thing hit me. Right, because I scrolled down below that. You have the what we were talking about, the U.S. Space Force commercial launch, and the title banner or slide is Guardians Wanted. Guardians Wanted.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of that, and then I looked at the Wheel of Fortune, the Radiant one that I posted on here, and the Sphinx sitting on top of the wheel, seeing that as the Earth, and holding the sword, the Guardian, Guardian of the Earth. It just, wow, it's just amazing.
It is. It's everything's connected. I see all of this stuff happening and all of these threads running through, and it's just like, yeah, it's true. Everything's connected.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
So
usually it's not so obvious like that.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of times it is, and or it's obvious in a different way. Like for the past, several years of doing this show with you, we'll both pull cards for a caller, and we're getting either the exact same cards or cards that mean the same thing. And
yeah.
It's just the synchronicity of it is amazing. And people want to say, well, it's just all coincidence. It's like, not when it's to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could,
no.
you can, first of all, I don't believe that coincidence exists, period. I think everything's connected. There is no such thing as coincidental. However, if you want to think that way, sure, one time, even two times coincidence, but 1,000 times,
literally, right? Yeah.
It's no longer coincidence. So we take the calls in the order that they come in, folks, at 714-816-4628, and we're going to go to our first caller. Woo-hoo. Who's been waiting the longest? It looks like area code 256. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kimberly, and I'm calling from Tucker, Georgia.
You're calling from where? I got Kimberly, but I didn't get where she was calling from.
Tucker, Georgia.
Georgia.
Oh, hi, Kimberly.
All right. Georgia on my mind. What's on your mind, Kimberly? What do you want to talk about today?
What I want to talk about is navigating my career. I'm looking for promotion. Yeah.
You're looking for a promotion? You want to see, like, how's that looking? How are we going?
Yes.
How are we going to get there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Dax, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
you can go first. I'm looking at this.
Okay.
I'm trying to get something, but I'm not getting anything yet. It's weird. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, let's see how we. Okay, so like, kind of, how is that going? Right? How's that going to go for you? Look, I think here's a weird thing, right? I do feel with these cards, I feel like a promotion is in your future. Okay. The thing that's really interesting though is what right now in the present. It's almost, I have the Four of Cups as the center card. So to me, the Four of Cups is like when we miss an opportunity, or we're overlooked, or we're overlooking something. So, you know, to me what this says is, and we have the Justice card, we have the Ten of Cups, and we end with the Empress card, promotion. So don't get discouraged if you get overlooked, you know, the first time around. If you get overlooked at, say, like the next opportunity, and you don't get that one, don't let that discourage you and make you feel like, it's never going to happen. The Justice card says, like, look, it's all going to balance out in the end, and it's only going to be fair that you get a promotion. And the Fool card also says, you know, that, you know, anything can happen, you know. So whatever you do, don't give up on the idea of, you know, reaching that goal if you get overlooked the first time. Because that Four Cups really makes me feel like, because it's also in the present energy. So I feel like, you know, the next immediate opportunity may not happen. You know, with the Fool card, anything can happen. So it might, but I get the feeling like it may not. But ending with the Empress, where, you know, we have this sense of abundance and connectedness, and the Ten of Cups, you know, being a card of like emotional fulfillment and happiness, and the Justice card about balance and fairness, all of the energy surrounding it is saying, like, yes, this is going to happen for her, but it might not happen immediately. So let's see what Dax is getting. Maybe he's got something with more insight.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more insight, but I was a little confused at the beginning, and that's why I said, I'm going to hand this off to you, Barry, while I contemplate these cards, because I'm laying. I swear, Kimberly, I'm like laying these cards down, and it's like no. Star card, yes. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this going to happen or not going to happen? And then, you know, I'm looking at the cards and listening to what Mary's having to say, and now it makes sense. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, maybe not as quickly as you think or want it to happen, but it happens. You know, Star card at the end, can't get better. You know, that's the outcome. So what's going on? Well, you know, I got there's competition, but you're in a good position. It got the Seven of Wands, and that card's all about having the high ground. So even though there's all this competition below, you've got the high ground. You got to focus on that, you know, and not worry about competition so much along those things. Also, you know, as you, I don't know, work on the situation. The Queen of Cups is coming in, and I'm getting that feeling of, you know, tapping into your intuition. So, you know, as you're going through all this, you know, don't always go with what first pops in your head, but instead take a deep breath, close your eyes, you know, put your hand on your solar plexus, ask your gut. Okay, as you know, is this the right direction to go? Is that the right direction to go? You know, and then the Knight of Cups shows up, a message coming in about, you know, the promotion, and then the Three of Pentacles, we're talking about a project. This is something having to do with a project, and we end up with the Star card, which is card 17. 1 + 7 is 8. Like I said, delay. You know, 8 weeks. Minimum. Hopefully not 8 months, but I'm going to go with 8 weeks because it sounds better. You know, I don't think it's going to happen in 8 days, you know, but 8 is the magic number. So, you know, it may take a couple months if you're thinking 8 weeks here, you know, maybe all the way to the end of the year even. It might be a January thing, but I'm thinking before the end of the year myself. I hope that helps you out. I know it's kind of convoluted there. It's not, exact. Keep your eye out, and remember I said tap into your gut instincts on things. Keep your ears open and perked and listen to your gut. If you hear anything about any special projects or a project or something collaborating with other team members or something along those lines, with this Three of Pentacles showing up, and that's when you should take notice. Oh yeah, Dax told me to look for that. And then call us back and let us know what happened.
Okay. I will.
And,
Thanks,
here's, can I say, I just wanted to say one thing, because this tarot deck I'm using today is blowing my mind, okay? That Empress card that I got in the end, all of the cards in this deck are connected with, something from the Bible. And that Empress card is actually, connected with that story about Abraham's wife, Sarah. How she didn't think she was going to have a baby, and she kind of gave up on it. And then later on, she's old and everything, and she ends up having the baby. And so I feel like, it's kind of that same thing, that the Four Cups is saying is like, don't give up, if it doesn't happen right away, think of, if you're biblical, think of like Sarah and how she ended up having a baby, even where she really gave up. But anyway, I just wanted to share that since.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta jump in here, Kimberly, because I just got a message from Spirit for you.
Okay.
Listening to what Mary was saying about that, and the thing about the story of Sarah is the impossible happening, and so this is the, I don't want to say warning, but the cosmic wake up call for you is to, remember how I said pay attention and check in with your gut and this potential project or collaboration of some sort or something coming up. The message that came through for you is that you initially, when you hear this or spot this, you're going to think it's impossible, and so you're not going to go for it. And so as soon as you hear that, think that, remember, Dax said, this is it. When you see something that could be an opportunity, and it's like, well, yeah, but I'm not involved with that section of the company. I'm not involved with that project. No, the impossible will happen. And so you've got to go for it. You've got to inquire. You've got to look into it, okay? Because you're going to think it's impossible. And so that's the message is, be on the lookout for that, because you're going to think it's impossible, and you're going to not take that path. So be on the lookout for that so that you do take that path. Does that make sense, Kimberly?
Oh, yes. I'm just actually looking to leave the company and find something else. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, and see, that makes a lot of sense, because what's going to happen is as you're looking, or maybe not even looking hard, something is going to come along in the periphery, and you're going to look at that and go, yeah, but I can't do that. And that's the thing you actually are supposed to be doing. Okay, so as soon as as soon as that little voice in your head says, oh, that's interesting, no, I can't do that, that's when you got to have the wake up and go, oh, wait, that's what Dax was talking about. This is it. This is the opportunity. This is what I'm supposed to look into.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for that, and call back when that happens. We want to hear
let us know
the story. Yeah.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Bye,
so much
Kimberly.
for calling. Bye.
That was a fun call to start off with, wasn't it?
That was.
I love all the synchronicities today, too. And, I'm glad you had the card you did and explained that thing, and the story of Sarah came up and everything. Because remember when I said a few minutes ago when I was looking on the Psychic Talk Facebook group at the wheel card, and I'm like, what the hell does outer space and the satellite up here and the astronaut have to do with the Bible? I wasn't
You know what? With the wheel, well, the Empress card was tied to that story of Sarah. The wheel he ties to the flood episode in Genesis, thinking that it, symbolizes like the momentous changes that space technologies have introduced to the world.
You could even say a sea change. Bad pun. Oh.
I love it.
It's been a sea change. It's been a flood of change. All righty. So let's see who's been waiting the longest. It looks like area code 803. Caller, are you there? 803. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Chris
Howdy.
from South Carolina.
Hey, Chris.
From South Carolina. Hello.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. What do you want to chat about today?
Oh, and you see me getting a house or a car soon?
Well, gee, which do you want more? A house or a car? Woo!
I was staying in an apartment, kind of staying with my mother now. I have an apartment, but I haven't been able to go over there because I've been taking care of my mother. Been working on manifestation. I need a car because it's walking a mile a day sucks. I don't like that so much.
Guess not.
Yeah. Any abundance coming soon.
Oh.
Well, I'm seeing housing a lot faster than a car, and I just have
my own house.
It could be your own house, or it could just be a different living situation. I'm not sure about that. It's about 2 weeks, something about 2 weeks. And there's that Knight of Cups again. God, I've been getting that Knight of Cups everywhere. Like some of our callers here, Mary, but it's been like I said when I talked about the daily spread and the numerology. It was like in 2 or 3 of my recent daily spreads. Lots of messages flying all over the place. Be on the lookout for some information on this, coming through fairly quickly, and it could happen as quickly as 2 weeks. You could be living somewhere else, and I just have this weird feeling that it's more important than the transportation. That you could deal with with that inconvenience a little bit longer, but that there's something about living with mom is not the best thing for you right now.
Well, she's real sick. She's sick, and I have to take care of her.
Okay, yeah, but you don't have to actually be living there to do that. I mean, it's probably good that you are, but
and she has heart problems.
Yeah,
I've been here since August.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Good. So, Mary, what are you getting? Do you have any more insight on this?
A little bit more,
something?
and I don't know if it's an insight, but I have a kind of a whole different thing on this. The central focus card is the wish card, the 9 of Cups. So that's awesome. That's like when we get what we're really hoping for, we're really wishing for. Now, the other thing that comes following that is the Lover's card. So I kind of feel like it's going to have to be a choice, and we have the 5 of Pentacles here. It's going to have to be a choice based on finances, right? Like so many of our choices are, right? So I think whether it's a house or a car, it's almost like the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have the ability to kind of get one or the other, and you're going to have to end up making the choice of which one you're going to have to do. And the advice with that actually comes in the form, oddly enough, of the 10 of Swords. Now, that's that's usually cards that can signify, the difficulty and the end of the difficulty. So it's saying, like, make the choice that is really going to, make things better. Like, which difficulties that because you're not dealing with just one issue, right? You're dealing with a few. And so which hardship is the choice going to solve? Is it going to make more sense to you at the time? The car? Yeah, but, if this happens, like, say, a few weeks from now, a couple weeks from now, like Dax was saying,
I'm getting a reading.
Go with your with the Nine of Cups, go with what's in your heart, and also, like, okay, what really solves the problem with me? Because I don't think both are going to happen at the same time. I think, you're going to have the ability to do one or the other. And it's the car now, is how you feel, but you might feel differently a little bit later. So just think it through and really what takes care of the most hassle for you. But I hope that's helpful to you, and I love your accent. Oh my gosh, a South Carolina accent.
Okay, thanks. Well, take care.
You too.
You too. Thanks for the call, Chris. I wanted to follow up on that for a second because, I got an inkling of that from the very, very beginning. Remember, the first thing out of my mouth, Mary, was well, which one do you want? I mean,
exactly. Like already,
it's like
it's going to be a
this
choice.
or that. Yeah, and you got that Nine of Cups, the wish come true card, the wish card, and that shows up in a reading. It's often really great. It's like, oh look, it's literally the wish come true card. Yes, it's going to happen for you. But there's the other side of the coin, which is wishful thinking. And see, that's the thing. A lot of times when people ask us the when question, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? When am I going to get the job, the car, the house, the spouse? Hey, I just did a rhyme. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
We got to start doing hip hop on this show. Yeah, and let's do hip hop on this show. No, but the problem with that though, it's nice, but it's wishful thinking. It's not actually making it happen. And see, that's the problem. That's not how the law of attraction works. That's not how the universe functions. It'd be nice to have a car, and it'd be nice to have your own house.
A house.
But do you just wish them? Do you just want them, or do you really want to bring it in? If you really want to bring it in, you got to decide which one. Focus on one at a time, and two, focus on it. You've got to start making it a reality. It's one thing to sit in your armchair, close your eyes, contemplate your navel, and say, I want a new house, I want a new house. It's another thing to actually go out and get a real estate agent. Start looking at properties. Start driving around the neighborhoods. Find the area you want to live in. Go there, drive around. What houses are up for sale? Do you see signs? Just putting in some action in the real physical universe, as well as putting your focus on what it is and trying to get a visualization of what it's going to look like, feel like, smell like, taste like, sound like when you have your own house. What's that going to be like? And if you can get that picture, and I'm saying picture, which is visual, but you really want to use all five senses, visual and what's it, smell like and sound like and look like, just feel like everything. Once you get that picture in your head and then you start going out in the physical world and looking, you're going to find it. You go, wait, that's the house, that right there, and it's for sale. Oh my God. You got to start doing things, taking you to that you want to bring in. But of course you have to decide what first. And you don't want to try to don't try to attract two big things, smaller things, but big things like a house and a car, those are our two biggest purchases in our lives. You want to do those one at a time. Focus on one, the one that you really need right now. If you're taking care of your mom, maybe you need to stay there with her and not worry about that and manifest a car right now and then manifest a house later. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. You got to decide that. But I just wanted to point that out, how the wish card can also be wishful thinking. Let's see who else is on the line here, has been waiting the longest. It looks like area code 860. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Amala from Connecticut. How are you?
Good.
Amala?
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I love that name.
Yeah.
Howdy.
So,
What do you want to
ask?
talk about today?
yeah, I'm just wondering. I feel like I'm at the tail end of an awakening. It's been a while of this. It's been a long time. I think since like last December. Just a lot of shifts this year, and anyway, so I feel grounded. I feel secure. I feel good about myself. So I'm wondering, when do you see me in a relationship? Maybe September, October, meeting somebody.
When do we see somebody coming in?
Yeah.
For a relationship. Okay. We'll see what the prophetic tarot of the Bible says. I love the title of it. So it's so dramatic, right? When do we see it happening? It's been a while, hasn't it? The Hanged Man comes from the top position. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Ooh, do have the Ten of Cups here. You know, I get the Knight of Cups in the final position here, preceded by the Page of Cups. It's like love, 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 love.
Oh,
love.
my
so,
God.
Isn't that amazing?
Mary,
what?
I just got to jump in, and then I'll let you finish up. But it's just hilarious because you're getting all of these people flooding in, and I'm getting the same thing: the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Wands, the Magician card. All these cards with male figures on them, coming in. It's just crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. You're gonna have to.
Go ahead, Mary. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just it looks like you are going to have to choose. Like you're going to have a plethora to choose from here. Is what this looks like after things kind of, and look, really, you said you feel you're like on the tail end of an awakening. You feel grounded. You've done all this work. And it is a factor of doing all of that. Sometimes we think that relationships in our love life and having, someone in our life has much more to do with that person than it does with us. And really, you've worked on yourself. You're ready for this, and it's really going to be just a matter of you're not in a rush for it. Even though it's been a while, you'd love to have somebody in your life. You don't have to rush yourself because you're going to have the opportunity to get to know people and to pick the one. And with all this Cups energy, I mean, it's definitely follow your heart.
Do you or Dax know when this might be happening? Okay.
I was calmly waiting my turn. I wanted to make sure Mary was finished.
Go ahead.
Okay, so talking about working on yourself, and then the Magician card shows up, and the Magician shows that whenever the Magician card comes up, I always get this feeling like the person needs to be told that, come on, you ultimately have the power. You decide when and how you manifest this, and you decide if you're ready for this, and you also make yourself ready. That's part of the Magician, So you've worked on it, like Mary said, and then we're seeing all these people showing up for you. Yeah. Now, and as far as when, well, the Magician is card 1, and you mentioned October, which is the 10th month. 1 + 0 is 1. So 1. October.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yep.
Do you feel the same way, Mary?
I feel like this could happen pretty quickly with Knight of Cups especially, I just wanted to mention there's a chance this person could be a water sign, so that might be, a little hint about that. Okay. Doesn't have to be, but often it turns out that way. So I would say October's fine. That's a 10 card as well, and it's the 10th month.
That's really cool. Wow, I'm really.
But
it's
also,
so cool. I'm so excited.
But also, I want to
excited.
throw in, Amala, that Mary got the Knight of Cups. I got the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles. So really,
you're going to have to make some choices.
It's wide open here. We've got the earth signs and the fire signs and the water signs. The only thing not showing up here, I'm just not seeing any air. I'm not seeing any air signs, So
which
if
is
you
good
do need
because
it,
I have a lot of air in my chart, so that's good. I'm happy with that. I don't have water anywhere in my chart, so that's good. It'll be interesting. I love earth signs too. I do.
I was gonna say if you bump into an air sign, throw that one back and cast the net or the thing again.
That is funny.
It's like, no, Dax said no.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You don't have any water in your chart. I'm seeing a water sign. Maybe he's the missing element.
Yes, the missing element. Well, thanks for the call, Amala.
Thank you so very much. I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Have a great weekend.
You too. Blessings.
Yeah.
Blessings.
So we have time for one more call.
Awesome.
What do you think, Mary?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
See who's out there.
Oh my God, we could be here all afternoon. The phone lines are just lighting up like a Christmas tree. But don't worry, we'll be back. Well, I won't be back next week, but you'll be back next week with your show. You're doing crystal readings. That's so cool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about meditating with crystals.
Meditating your navel. Remember, you can call in next Friday if we don't get your call today as well. You can get some guidance live on air with Catherine Hahn. By the way, on the 10th, the week after, 2 weeks from now, Friday the 10th is Catherine's 3-year anniversary on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. So she's going to do a celebration. Yeah, she's going to do a celebration, that show. I'm going to have to pop in and say hi. So tune in on the 10th for the celebration. 3 years on the network here. She's still a baby, though. We've been doing this since, 2010. Anyway.
And Charlotte has a question in the chat room, too.
Okay, let's take that, too. But let's go with area code 786 as the last call, and then we'll take Charlotte's question real quick after this. So let's see how quickly we can get through this here. Area code 786. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Uh-oh, I'm not hearing anything. Hello?
Me either.
786? Are you there? Mary, are you hearing anybody?
I'm not hearing anybody. Maybe they stepped away from their phone.
Okay, so we're putting them back on hold. We're going to, lucky for somebody else, because we're going to go with someone else here. Who's been waiting the longest? Area code 440. Caller, are you there? 440?
Yes. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
What's your name, hon?
My name is Patricia. I'd like to ask, thank you for taking my call. I'm teaching myself and learning, and I'm trying to figure out which service would sell and help me to earn an income. A beta reader, audio, video editor, and sell them on these freelance services like a Upwork and a Fiverr. Will I have success with both of those?
don't forget there's Fiverr and all that you. There's also Freelancer. You want to check out the Freelancer site. What was the I don't know what to call them. The different modalities, the different things you do.
No, beta readers, basically reading person's manuscripts or books.
Oh, okay.
Before they're being published, because they
nice.
Right.
What was the next one?
Audio video editor.
Audio video editor. Okay. Was there a third or fourth one?
Yeah, and a creator of explainer videos with Doodly.
Creator of, say that again. I think I got it, but creator of
explainer videos with Doodly.
Okay. It looks like you're going to be able to. All right, so this is really interesting. 2 cards and a 3 card. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Okay, so taking a look at this. God, they all look so good, but it's going to be the last one. It's the three of Pentacles. It's like, and that card's about collaborating with other people, doing it yourself. I don't know. Let's see. I got for the first one, I got the 2 of Pentacles, and so in that one, it's like it's a yes card, okay, but he's juggling the finances with that one. Of the 3, the only one where I get a really good card is the High Priestess for the second opportunity, and it's the only major arcana card, which is, that's big for us tarot people when we see a major arcana card, and it's a yes card as well. And the majors show up indicating usually or quite often a more life-changing thing. Okay, so I'm going to go with the second one. Looks like the most promising. I really think you could do all 3 of them, but
all right.
It just seems to me like the middle one there, which when you have multiple things, and I don't have them written down, I forgot already what they were. But the second thing you told me.
Audio video editor.
Yeah. See, and I like that too, because it's more self-paced, and I do a lot of audio and video editing here at the network. So, I'm kind of already familiar, and I think that could be really successful. But let's see what Barry's getting. She might be getting some other hints or information about the opportunities.
Yeah.
Mary?
I mean,
what are you getting?
I just did like a comparison of those 3 things. And what exactly was the third one doing?
Beta reader, basically, it's a service on Fiverr where persons are reading writers, authors, manuscripts, or
no, that was number 1.
What?
That was number one, right? That's what
was the third one?
Creator of explainer videos with Doodly. It's like an animation tool.
Right. Okay, so what I get is, forget the first one. It doesn't look worth it. I get the Moon card, I get the 4 Cups, I get the 4 Pentacles. I feel like we just don't make enough to really make it worth our while. Choice number 2, and choice number 2 and choice number 3 both look good to me. Choice number 3 looks like you'd make more money doing it, because I get the 9 of Pentacles with that, along with the Chariot card. And with the, the audio video thing looks good too. I get the Temperance card, the Emperor card, the Two of Cups there. So I feel like, I would focus on those two more. And if it's really, I think you can make more with the animation thing with that Nine of Pentacles showing up. So
I got to say something about
those
that.
options.
Yeah, explore both of those more closely. I'm with you, Mary. Drop the first one. And I was recommending the second one, but I have to say that I did get the Three of Pentacles for the third one. And Pentacles, just getting a Pentacles card and then you getting the Nine of Pentacles, it does seem like that would be, at least monetarily, financially, a lot more successful. And I got to say, I saw that Major Arcana card, the High Priestess coming in for number 2, the audio and video editing, and it just made me go, wow, got a Major Arcana card for this one. But I have to be honest that when I was first laying out the cards, and when you were first telling me what the 3 choices were, Patricia, and you mentioned doodly, something made me smile on that third one. It just sounds so cool. Making these animations, and I know what you're talking about, and it's really big right now, especially because the thing that's been blowing up and is going to continue to blow up for a while is going to be YouTube, and people are starting YouTube channels and growing YouTube channels like crazy. There is a little factor, though. A lot of people, Patricia, do not like to be on camera. And so what they want is they want these doodlies. They want these animations instead of them being on camera. Or if they are on camera, they're a little. Yeah, have you ever seen where if they are on camera, they're like this little tiny square picture in picture in the lower right corner, where you can barely see them, but then it's got the big animation or the slideshow going by, and the animations are so much better than the slideshows because of the action and the eye sees movement, and that's what people want in a video. They don't care if your face is not up there, but they want to see movement, and so I think that's why this is a really good shoot. I might hire you. I mean, this is so good. I don't like being on camera either, but I know I need to build a YouTube channel. That's my next big thing, is going into that. So, yeah, I hope this helped you out. I hope we didn't confuse you too much, but.
No. Well, thank you very much, and have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks,
Thanks
Patricia.
for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those situations, Mary, where I was like, oh, Major Arcana card here. And then I started listening to you and talking about, and I'm like, well, I did have that intuitive flash on number 3 here. It's like, excuse me, can I change my answer? I want to go with 3 now too. I got all blinded by the Major Arcana card showing up. I don't see why Patricia can't do both, to be honest with you. Maybe
they both look good. It's just a little more money on the third one.
Well, the thing is that they're in the same genre, sort of, where you're doing some kind of editing with both. So what she could do is she could start off with the doodly, and then focus on one thing at a time. I keep saying that. Focus on one thing at a time, people. Whether you're trying to manifest the house or the car or the entrepreneurship here, pick one thing. And I'm the expert at this because I could never pick one thing. Being a Gemini. And so you focus. You focus on that one thing, You get that going, and then you put aside a certain number of hours a week to do editing for people on the side. It's kind of like a side income to this other income, and build them up side by side. I can see that happening as well.
Yeah.
So what was Charlotte asking in the chat room?
Charlotte is saying she's feeling like a drama queen, having drama manifestations that are Oscar-worthy lately. LOL. Please tell me when the drama will be over, and also, is it worth it to go back to school? Which part do you want to take part of that, and I'll take the other part, or do you want to look at it?
I'll do the school part. What do you want to do? What was the other part?
I'll do the drama.
I'm gonna do this.
When will the drama be over?
Yeah, and I have a quick answer for that. Charlotte is a drama queen. Come on, we've known her for years. Hi, Charlotte. Just kidding. Love you.
Love Charlotte. Okay, when will the drama be over? When will it be over? Charlotte, you have to. It's kind of like what Dax was saying. You got to decide when the drama will be over. Now, that being said, I got the World card, the Star card, the Ten of Swords. That would be like the end of the drama. And we have the Two of Pentacles. So, Two of Pentacles to me is actually the most informative of all these cards that come up here. We can hope, like the Star card, for the drama to be over. The Queen at the center, I feel like that's you saying, like, look, you've got to stop going back and forth on this. You've got to decide when the drama is over. I mean, drama is always going to be out there. The World, we have the World card here, is full of drama, and it's a choice. You choose what to engage with. You choose when to take the bait. You choose your reaction. How are you going to react? The Ten of Swords, swords are connected to the mind, and Ten of Swords is a card of a lot of drama. But it also tells us, like, look, a lot of that is in our head. Like, what is going on in our head? How we are interpreting things and thinking about things and allowing things in. So you decide that the drama could be over by October. The drama could be over by today. You make a choice, Charlotte, on that, and stick to it. Okay? Stick to it. Let's see what Dax gets about this school question.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this. The 8, the Strength card shows up. I almost said the 8 of Strength. That should be a thing. I just don't know. Anyway.
I like that.
Internal fortitude. Okay, this is not, I'm just going to touch on the highlights here instead of go through everything. But, that's like, you don't need the rest of the cards. 8 is the Strength card. Card 8, abundance. How does one get abundance? Abundance comes through your own inner strength and personal power, and it's discipline. It's deciding. It's going for something, doing it. And having known Charlotte for years, I feel that this is. And it's funny, in the chat room she said, "I'm wounded to the core," because I accuse her of being a drama queen, and she is sometimes. She and it's not just her. It's like, I mean, Doug
we can all
is
be
a drama
that
queen.
way.
Doug attracts it like a magnet. It just is attracted to him, and it's the same thing with Charlotte. And, I think she would get the most out of, again, I'm just going to go back to the same theme through this entire thing with me, with these readings, is pick one. Focus on one thing. what do you want to attract in? What is the one thing, whether it's the car or the house, or, going for the doodly gig, with our previous callers, and with Charlotte. With Charlotte here, pick a thing. And as far as, is it worth it to go back to school? Yes. Yes, it is. It's big time, big time. Now, it might not be what you're thinking, though. It may not be what you're thinking. So basically, Barry, the judgment card shows up here. And so it's the cosmic wake-up call for Charlotte. Okay. Pick it. And then the Page of Cups, pages are about learning. It's the Master Illuminator, number 11. It's either teaching something you love or learning something you love. And then we end on the Temperance card 14. And, that's the mixing of opposites. For me, what's popping in my head is doing the impossible. It's almost like our previous caller. It's like you're was that Patricia? I don't know. It was like no, that was the last caller. It was the two before that, where I told her, I don't know, but it was like when I said, you think you're going to see something, but you're going to think, no, I can't do that, and but that's not true. You can do the impossible, Charlotte. And as far as going back to school, this all fits in with that. All right. It's deciding what the thing is, and then you're golden, because then you just learn everything you can about, okay. And what I meant by it might not be what you're thinking is what I'm getting as a message for you is it's not about going back to school in the sense of school. In other words, it's not worth it. I don't think at this point. The feeling I'm getting is, you're not going to do a 2-year track to become a nursing assistant. You're not going to do an 8-year track to become a lawyer. It's not going back to school. It is learning. It's finding somebody that's already doing what you are doing and crushing it and learning from that person. And that can take a lot of forms, and you can research anything on YouTube. There's a Udemy course for everything. I mean, whether you want to learn Microsoft, you want to learn coding, databases, you want to learn tarot, you want to learn hypnotherapy, you want to learn life coaching, you want to learn Reiki. I mean, you name it, it's on Udemy. Basket weaving, I don't know. But, whatever this thing is, that's the most important thing, is knowing what you want to manifest before doing anything else. If you're bringing this up, Charlotte, about going back to school because you have an inkling that there's, some area you'd like to work in or something you'd like to do, that's the big thing. Come to a decision on that and then see what's out there. Maybe you do have to take a course. I don't know, because I don't know what it is. But I'm telling you that you don't have to go back to school for years and years and years and years, especially in this day and age. Everything's available out there, and you can, you can become an entrepreneur and work for yourself and help others solve a big problem for somebody else. And if you don't have the skills to do that, you can get them very quickly, within days and weeks, not months and years, days and weeks. You can learn how to help people with whatever problem it is you're solving. So that's what I'm getting. I hope that helped you out, Charlotte.
Awesome.
Let's see what she's saying in here. It's a CAD course. Okay, well, those aren't long. I would work for any of the engineering companies, can complete it in a few months. Exactly. That's it. Yeah, that's the thing you want to do. Yeah. See, now if Charlotte had said in the chat room, I found this, 3.5-year course on XYZ, I would say, no, that's not it. That's not it. But because she said it's just a few months and computer-aided drafting, CAD is still really big. It reminds me of our previous caller with the doodly and, doing graphics,
audio, visual, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would definitely go for something like that, and you may end up working for an engineering company. You may end up freelancing, consulting, computer-aided drafting. I love that. What's that? Ha, 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 ha. I would say no, 2-3 years too. Exactly. Yeah. You don't want something like that. But, a 2-3 month, 4-month course on computer-aided drafting. Yeah. Go for it. Awesome sauce.
Awesome.
Here we are. We're at the end of the show.
Yes. Just flew by.
So next week, you're going to be by yourself, and you're going to be talking about crystal meditation. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you going to be talking about with that?
Well, because so often I feel like, that's something that we hear referenced all the time, like, oh, you can meditate with your crystal, or this is a great crystal for meditation. And I thought, well, let's really talk about, the process of that. How do we do it? Do we just sit there and stare at a crystal? So I'm going to show... I'm going to talk since it's radio. It's like tell, don't show, right? The opposite. But, I'm going to talk about different crystals to meditate with. And apophyllite, my featured crystal, is a great stone to meditate with. And we're going to discuss some of the properties of that. And it's really a cool stone.
That is like what I would be attracted to if I was doing some kind of meditation. Think back to the 80s where, everything was pyramids, and they actually, you put pyramid hats on, and they sat under pyramids and did meditations, and they had their quartz crystals there, and the how do you pronounce it again? The crystal of the month, next month?
Apophyllite.
Apophyllite, yeah, and it reminds me of that kind of crystal, real crystals, where it's actually crystal-colored crystal, clear and smoky,
quartzy.
And it looks like a quartz crystal, very quartzy, yeah. And so I think that would be, and the ones that I saw, and like the one I put on the banner, the way they look is just really cool, and you could put light under those and have them glow, and I don't know, I see someone meditating in front of that. Oh, well, okay, so we're looking forward to next week, and you're going to do the crystal readings. I still don't know how you do the crystal readings.
I use crystal dice to do them, and I use
dice. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I have a couple sets of dice that are each die in the set is a different crystal. So,
wow.
it's like, and I love doing that. And I also use numerology with that too. But because it's dice, it's not like Pythagorean numerology. It's kind of like my own system. It's only like the numbers 1 through 6.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, that works though. But,
because it's 6-sided dice.
We got to get out of here because we are way past the end of the show. I mean, not only did we go over, Mary, but we stopped live streaming about 8 minutes ago. But
that's funny.
This will all be in the archive in the recording, though.
Awesome.
Well, thanks everybody. We will see you later. Bye, Mary.
Bye, Dax. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Helen.